just like any team, and it's really cheesy, but I was thinking about it this morning. It's like you have to build it out like a sports team. Everyone is going to have the basic skills of being a good affiliate manager, but you have to develop your own style of how you approach management. I do fundamentally think that good managers have empathy for their team. And so the idea is that you hire people that you trust, that they know what they're talking about, or if they don't, that they will ask you questions, and you create an environment that they are able to do that. I think fundamentally that makes a good team, but also makes you the best manager. Don't try and grow too quickly, really. Take your time, build it up, try to find partners, other traffic sources that already work with that local market. You have to decide at what point your brand or your product is. When a brand is first building up, yes, FTDs are important, but also volume is important. I think the important thing is diversification. As a marketer and as a business, you can't rely on just one channel. You need to have other ways to build up your brand, whether it's through media exposure, through doing other paid campaigns, social media. Those all have to complement your affiliate acquisition channel. Like I said, I remember when influencer marketing came, or we call it influencer marketing, and my thought was that's just affiliate marketing. It's the same thing. Affiliates, publishers, influencers, it's all very much the same thing. But what influencers really figured out is that you have to they are the brands. An affiliate doesn't necessarily have to be the brand themselves as a person, but they have to decide what their brand stands for.
Hi everyone, this is Faruk and welcome to Revpanda Live. Today we are discussing a topic that's the core of the growth in the iGaming industry, affiliate marketing. But not just what's happening today, we're talking about where it's heading in 2025 and beyond. To help us explore all of this, I've got an incredible guest with me today, Erica Anderson, VP of Marketing and Product at Income Access. Erica, welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Faruk. It's a pleasure to be here.
Amazing. Thanks for joining. Everyone, if you've been in the iGaming affiliate space, you probably know Income Access already, but Erica has been in the industry for over 15 years, and I'm so excited to hear her insights today. We'll cover technology, markets, scaling up in the affiliate space, and some of the recent trends as well. Erica, before we get started, could you please tell us a little bit about Income Access? And for those who might be a bit less familiar, what are the core products and services you offer to the iGaming industry? And also, please tell us what you do at Income Access. We would like to hear from you.
Sure. Thank you for that intro. So Income Access, as you mentioned, we've been around for a while, over 20 years. Predominantly, our focus has been on being a iGaming marketing and technology company. Our biggest product, or our well-known product, is our platform. So it's an affiliate marketing tracking platform and reporting as well. But not just a platform, and we're not just technology focused. We also have marketing services. So affiliate management services is a big part of our business. We work directly with operators to optimize their affiliate campaigns. We recruit, we look at activating affiliates. And then we also do digital marketing services beyond that. So because we have a knowledge in iGaming for quite a few years, and we understand the market and the iGaming customer, we work on email marketing, SEO and content strategy, and all other areas that really can help complement the affiliate marketing business. So that's the core of what we do. And from a perspective of me at Income Access, so I'm responsible for marketing and product. Marketing encompasses marketing Income Access as a brand. So all of the social media brand marketing campaigns that we do including being on podcasts as part of my remit, as well as I'm responsible for marketing services. So I mentioned about how we work with our clients. We can be extension of their affiliate team, or we can be their affiliate team to do the day-to-day. We also do market analysis. We do intelligence reports. And like I mentioned about SEO and email marketing and other PPC driving traffic. And then the last but not least is I'm also responsible for the income access product. With my background in working in affiliate marketing and using our platform day to day and working with our customers, I really have insight into how we use our product. And then my job is to make sure that we have that product for the future. So working within the business with the development teams and our product team, as well as our client-facing teams on what are we developing as income access and what are we putting out into the marketplace.
Wow, there are a lot of things actually you covered about your role and income access. I actually didn't know some of the things that you mentioned among your products and services, so I'm also learning today. Erica, I know you, I think since 2018, but you have been in the iGaming space like really long time, much before that. It's really impressive for me, like the journey that you have got. As far as I know, you started as an affiliate manager at Income Access back in 2009.
I did.
Could you please take us back and share some highlights of your career in our industry?
Yeah, sure. So I started as an affiliate manager, which is the core of what someone does to use our platform and the core of our services. Back when I started 16 years ago, which seems like so long ago, but actually also seems like yesterday. I was, some of my first clients actually were UK bingo clients. I had some big UK bingo brands as well as some sports books. I did spread betting, a whole bunch of different day-to-day work with clients, understanding how, and affiliates, understanding how the marketplace worked, how iGaming worked. I came in completely unknowledgeable in iGaming. I'm based in Canada. iGaming historically has not been a huge focus for us as a country. Obviously, recent regulations have changed in certain parts of Canada, but definitely when I started, most of my friends and family had no idea what I was doing, but I developed so I came in with developing a lot of knowledge. I had to not learn on the job. It was a lot of working with the people. I had really good mentors who helped me understand how to work with affiliates, and really we were focused on solutions. So what I developed a skill set as an affiliate manager, and back then was, there weren't a lot of ways that affiliates could promote. A lot of it was through organic and SEO traffic. There were a lot of limitations on being able to even do paid campaigns on Google. It wasn't the same social sphere as it is now. I mean, Facebook was starting up, but there was a lot of limitations on what you could do. So it was a lot of creativity around working with affiliates. But that helped me develop, because I learned that relationships were key with affiliates, understanding their business and what they're trying to drive. And then also with clients, trying to come up with ways that we could make the products better through affiliate feedback, and also complement what affiliates needed to make a converting product. So that all contributed to the development of understanding our business. And then over time, obviously, affiliates have changed. Even 16 years ago, a lot of affiliates were smaller businesses or single entrepreneurs. They weren't the huge corporations that they are now. So that obviously was a different market. And over time, it's definitely changed and developed.
Well, there's one thing that you mentioned, and I was actually taking notes. For me also, it is really hard to explain what I do to my friends and family. So it's really challenging. Wow, a lot of changes definitely happened in the affiliate space, and we'll get to that. But I would like to ask you, based on all the experience that you have got, I'm sure you have a lot to share on what it takes to succeed in this space, especially for those affiliate managers listening to us today. What advice do you have for them to progress in their careers based on your own experience?
A couple things. I think first thing, obviously, is how you work with affiliates. That will dictate how successful you are. The most successful affiliate managers that have had a longevity in our industry and in most of careers, right? They build up relationships and knowledge through other people. You're not going to know everything. You're not even going to know a fifth of everything. So you really have to leverage other people's experiences, whether it's working with other affiliate managers in your team. And I can talk a little bit later more about that, but also working with affiliate managers in the industry. And also keeping in mind that the person you talk to tomorrow may may not seem like they're a huge affiliate, or may just be starting out, but they could end up being one of the largest affiliates in the industry in just 6 months to a year. Some affiliates are building so fast, right? And so it's important to really understand that your network is super important, and then also that you have really trust that affiliates are trying to drive traffic to businesses. Ultimately, that's how they make money. And also on the client side, that you show that you're super knowledgeable about what affiliates are doing, that you're sharing that feedback back with them. And then another part of progressing in your career as an affiliate manager is obviously internally, right? You may be in a company where you are the only affiliate manager amongst many other marketing people. You may be in a company where you're an acquisitions manager and you have affiliates as part of your remit. The important thing is you need to show that there's ROI in this channel. No company is going to want to invest in an affiliate channel unless they see that it has that ROI. So you need to really translate that back to the business and have them understand. That's for me, a lot of my career has been about helping the wider business, because I fit, even as Income Access, we fit into a wider PaySafe organization. And a lot of what I do is be an advocate for what we do within the business. And so you need to be your own advocate about both what you do as an affiliate manager and how it's successful. And also, one of the best mentors I ever had was someone who said, Erica, you need to sell yourself. And you do need to sell yourself. It's hard. I know for certain personalities, including myself, you like to give credit to everyone else, and you need to obviously acknowledge your teammates and acknowledge other people's contribution. But you also need to really think about, how do you be your own proponent, because no one else is going to fight as hard as you are going to fight for yourself and for your career. So that is really a big thing of it. And then the last thing too is understanding the wider business, understanding what is key for them. Obviously, ROI is really important, but not just limiting yourself to affiliate marketing, understanding other marketing channels, understanding the product. That relating back to me, for myself, the reason why I believe I've continued to progress is because I've not just limited myself to one part of a job. I've taken on things. I've looked at different parts. I mean, I was an affiliate manager. I led the affiliate team, but I also was a client relations manager. I've done marketing services. So anytime anyone said, do you want to do this? I said, sure. That's definitely contributed to, I think, me being happy and successful or feeling successful in what I do.
And you were open to learn, as far as I understand, right? So whatever project comes to you, you were just open for that.
Yeah. And sometimes, just like everything, you got to take things that can make you a little bit nervous, a little bit scared to take it on. Nothing is easy necessarily, and you have to learn and develop and grow. And so that comes back to your network, learning from your network, continuing to take whatever knowledge you can in, and the advantage now is that there's the internet to look at you can look up a lot of things, but you can also talk to people, right? And some of the best tidbits I get are just from conversations I have with people.
Absolutely, especially building those relationships, being open for networking. And the most important thing, I am actually at the same time taking notes, because Erica, these are golden tips, honestly. Maybe after our show, we create some content and we take the best parts of it. So there's going to be a good checklist out of what you have said only for the answer. Thank you so much for these tips. You mentioned about sell yourself and actually be present out there. So it's not only meeting operators and trying to discuss with them the business opportunities, and it's not like a buy-sell relationship, but more like a personal relationship. So I very much enjoyed the tips that you provided.
Exactly.
I would like to go a little bit towards the markets direction, and I would like to ask a few questions about them. But before that, as you know, we are having some interesting times. Like new markets are opening, the existing ones also, they are having some regulation changes. This makes iGaming affiliate marketing a quite diverse space. Obviously, operators are trying to adapt, and affiliate marketing programs, they must also stay up to date with all the changes. I wonder about your advice to operators this time on how to build and also effectively train their affiliate team.
So I think the key is having the right type of people in your team. So as a manager or as an operator that's looking to build out an affiliate team, just like any team, and it's really cheesy, but I was thinking about it this morning. It's like you have to build it out like a sports team. Everyone is going to have the basic skills of being a good affiliate manager, especially in new markets. So you have to have the basic skills of language. If you're in a certain market, you have to have the languages of that market. For example, if you're going into Asian market, it's really advantageous to be able to speak certain languages because that'll really help people connect with the local and with affiliates. But the other thing is you need to have a diverse skill set. You need to be able to have fundamentally, an affiliate manager needs to be analytical. They need to be proactive. They need to have drive. But some affiliate managers have different styles. So you need to have the ability to build a team where they all have these basic skill sets, like I mentioned, but that they all complement each other. You don't want to hire the same exact person 5 times within an affiliate team or within a marketing team or within an organization. You want to have people who complement things that some people might miss. And then ultimately, my advice and what I've done with hiring is, look, you hire people who have experience in certain areas, in certain markets. Definitely it's an advantage, especially if you are looking to go in a new market, that you hire someone, for example, who has experience in South Africa for iGaming. But that can be hard to come by, right? What you really need to hire is for the type of attributes that someone shows, I find, because if they have the right energy, approach, drive, they'll make it happen. We talked about learning and developing and growing. Those things can't be taught. I find that those are innate. Someone either has the drive to want to achieve and grow and learn and can work well with others. That's a huge key thing, right? People can be really smart, can be really engaged, but they don't work well with others. So that doesn't really work in a relationship-based. They could be someone who sits in front of a computer and deals with solving a problem on their own. But in affiliate marketing, it's all about relationships and negotiation and that building. So you can always train them in certain areas about different markets or iGaming. And myself, example, I didn't come with an experience iGaming. I had an experience in marketing, but so there's a lot of ability to cross-train. And then also mentoring is part of that, right? If you have a good mentoring structure within your team or a buddy system, that's what we have within my team. We have buddies that work together. So if we have someone new, we do have a preferential way that we like to approach our affiliates and our clients. And so we definitely have modeling of that within a buddy system. And also people always know that someone is there. It's really hard to go into a team and feel like you are alone. I know it sounds really cheesy, but I like being part of a team. And like I said, I like sports too. I like the fact that you can work together. It's not, you have to have individual drive for sure. And you have to be able to be accountable on your own towards ROI goals. Ultimately, your bosses care about what you perform and deliver, but I feel like it is a team effort to get there. So set individual KPIs and then also set team goals, which are dependent on working together to achieve them.
Erica, I think all these things that you call cheesy, they are like staples in team management and also recruiting people. I love how you touch base on the mentoring part of it. It's very important. Sometimes there are those moments, even you have experience in the market or what you're selling as a product or service, you may need somebody to have a look or advise you. Even before you go to, let's say, your first iGaming event, you need to find out who to talk, how to do the networking. So somebody else in the organization having all this experience guiding you is just a gem. It's very important. Definitely, I second that one. And I wanted to touch base on the part that you mentioned, building the teams, because you are also an experienced manager. You have been leading teams, over 15 years now. And as you know, iGaming, our industry, is very dynamic. And I know it from myself. Sometimes it can be a really hard job to keep the teams engaged and effective. Could you share your top tips on how managers can better engage and manage their teams?
Yeah, so the first thing definitely is about empathy and support. Everyone has their own style. So as I've developed as a manager, when you look at other managers, you think, oh, I need to be exactly like that person in order to be successful. But you have to develop your own style of how you approach management. At the same time, like you said, it's super important that someone is engaged. And I do fundamentally think that good managers have empathy for their team. It does help when you've done the job specifically day to day, so you understand the challenges. But at the same time, I've managed teams where I have absolutely no experience in what they actually do day to day. I understand the gist of it and I understand what we need to achieve, but I trust them. And that's another part of it, is trusting that someone will do what they need to do day to day. If you're hiring people that you don't trust, then that is a huge problem. And so the idea is that you hire people that you trust, that they know what they're talking about, or if they don't, that they will ask you questions, and you create an environment that they are able to do that. I think fundamentally that makes a good team, but also makes you the best manager, the best. The reason why I feel like my team is really strong is because I know I have shortcomings in certain areas, but I also know that they accept that, but they also fill those shortcomings. And I try to have surround people who are different than me, but that we connect on core levels. So from that, I think that's very important in terms of having an engaging team. And personally, that's what I've experienced. And the other thing is having clear goals and KPIs. So I mentioned about team KPIs, individual KPIs. You need to be sure that you're going in the same direction, that you clearly know what is a symbol or a sign of success, and that you agree together on them. You can dictate KPIs. Yes, companies have just, we're a publicly traded company. We have goals budgets we need to achieve, but you need to be engaged with your team to agree together on what are reasonable goals that are ambitious, but also achievable. You don't want to have goals that someone can't achieve. I think I've seen that with some approaches where people try to make people shoot really high and then dictate down. And it really has to be a working relationship where you say, hey, we need to work towards this. What do we think we can achieve? How can we work together on this? And then also getting input, like I said, about input into KPIs, even decisions. I think, again, people think that they need to know everything as a manager, and you're not going to. And the most engaged teams are ones where they feel like they're part of the decision-making process. As a manager, sometimes you have to, make decisions that are based on everyone's input, and you have to be the final say. That definitely happens, and that's part of your job and the reason why you're in your position. But you need to have people to input and be able to be part of that decision making, rather than dictating to them. And then, iGaming changes all the time, so you need to recognize what an achievement is, whether it's just learning about a new market or whether it's developing a new skill. In marketing, even specifically, there are things that people come in from, and I welcome it, coming in from other companies, other experiences where they, give us workshops, like in my team, where give workshops on, the latest in influencer marketing. And you need to recognize that those are important parts of your team, and recognize that is valuable to contribute, and that's always developing and changing. And then we do something in our team which is called achievements, weekly achievements. So we celebrate the successes. It can be something super small, like just getting a large affiliate on a platform. It could be something really huge, launching a new program or launching a new feature. We try to celebrate everything, even at a weekly basis in our team meetings, just to make people feel recognized and engaged in what they do.
Well, getting a large affiliate to the platform is quite a big achievement, honestly, especially in this very competitive environment we have in our gaming. But I really love this. This is something that I tell myself I should learn to be more celebrative person. I'm not really that kind of person. I'm very much focused on the process in many cases. So I think that's amazing, and just share it with the rest of the team. That's really a fantastic idea. About the trust, that was really remarkable for me, because this is something that I try to apply during my own recruitment processes. I developed something on my mind. I'm not claiming any copyright or something, but just want to share with you. I've got some kind of a triangle. So attitude, the domain expertise, and the technical knowledge. And I try to find the sweet spot in between. It depends on the person that I'm talking with, because I may see like there's maybe not much domain expertise, but the attitude is great, right? So I can just lift it a bit higher. Or I need, this role requires more like technical expertise, so I just move to that direction. And when I hired some junior level people, they were actually quite well performing. So I definitely agree on the trust part over there. It's very important. And as a manager, empathy, 100%. I think that needs to be really like written in everybody's, let's say, surroundings all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, we're in a competitive place where people obviously the economy is changing a little bit, but people choose where they work, and they want to work places where people understand them, or at least take the time to understand them. And I agree with you about finding that sweet spot, because, you know, I've interviewed people and hired people sometimes who come from very impressive backgrounds. You know, they worked at large organizations, very impressive names. But ultimately, I also feel like you get a gut feeling about someone and you say to yourself, okay, but they have so much experience. They have so much experience, but then their attitude or the trust is not there. And then in the end, often I find your gut is right about it, because it's better that they have some background and have that attitude and approach than being the most, you know, knowledgeable person ever and no one can work with them, you know. So that it's a hard little angle. And sometimes people have the best attitude too, but no experience, and then they're not able to actually. I find it's also a very steep learning curve in affiliate marketing and marketing in general. Obviously everything, but you've got to learn a lot from iGaming. You've got to learn about, you know, if you don't come from a background where you ever did, you know, online betting or casino, especially, you know, for myself in Canada, most people didn't come from that background. So we were hiring obviously people who didn't understand it day to day. And then, you know, when you don't come from the background, and then you have to come in and learn all about the industry, and then you also have to apply the ideas of marketing, it can be challenging to do all of it. But the most successful, like I said, have been able to balance it all.
I also noticed in the recruitment process nowadays, back at my time, right after university, when I was trying to find my first job, the university education was really something. Right now, I see that almost everybody just after good attitude and, you know, skills, and that's it. So that's a huge improvement, I would say, in the market.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Erica, I promise that we'll come back to affiliates and markets, and let's maybe start with market expansion, especially for affiliates. So we observe that affiliates often keep an eye on the new markets, right? So they want to maybe expand their operations, their businesses into new markets to add some diversity to their business. What advice do you have for affiliates who are looking to enter new markets and scale their businesses?
Yeah, so I think the key, there's a couple of different approaches. Obviously, affiliates go into new markets regularly, or most of them do. The larger ones have a more systematic approach. I think the key that I've seen is immersing yourself and understanding. You do need to look at the local propensities or the local culture very carefully, because you need to have language. That's one thing. I have seen in the past some people try and go with English, thinking, oh, English is the predominant business language. But when you're going to customers, you really need to go in the local language, and you need to understand and work with products and operators that also prioritize that. Because again, I've seen in the past some operators that go into certain countries in English, and you need to offer that. And then you need to do a volume of content to build up your presence there, whether it's doing a lot of blog posts, if you're doing it more through sites and organic search, whether it's, partnering with a local on the ground person who's, a promotional offer, or an influencer. You need to build up an audience there, and you need to really immerse yourself in it. And you need to look at the specific propensity of the types of products that they want to work with. Like, for example, in LATAM, there's certain local games that they like to play. You can go after a niche market that way, rather than just going generically with online casino, or going generically with online sports books. I think when you go after a niche, it gives you an opportunity to grow more than trying to compete with a lot of larger affiliates who may already have presence there in the larger products and markets. And then don't try and grow too quickly, really. Take your time, build it up. Try to find partners, other traffic sources that already work with that local market, and then work together on how you can even help them, especially if you have experience outside of that market. Maybe you're working more globally, or maybe you're working in another more established market, and you can partner with someone and you can both benefit from growing together. I've also seen that as well. So I think a combination of those things can really help you.
Definitely. I actually agree with you on the localization part over there. This is so important. I've seen even like those big brands spending like 6 digits on marketing easily, and they just send emails sometimes in English language, let's say in Germany or Latin market.
Yeah.
That's a disaster. And when we talk about localization, it's not only the language, and it's actually not even the translation. There's like some other parts, payment methods in this market. Yeah.
100%.
I fully agree on what you mentioned over there, and it extends a little bit further. For instance, also it covers the, let's say, if you go with the sports betting part, then which sports, like depending on the region, it could be different sports based on the market that you go, or even the games. So some games are even more popular. In some markets, it's more like typical casino. In some markets, crash games and so on. So it's very important to understand it. Yeah. And what you suggested, it's very important. Like working with somebody in the market, local market over there, or having someone in the team that understands the market, because regulations actually sets a frame in around what you can do in that market, especially from the marketing point of view. Yeah. So you are limited with the regulations in that market, in that particular frame. So building up slowly, that really makes a lot of sense, because it gives you a bit more leverage to grow your business over time. You wanted to add something, Erica, back to you.
No, I was just going to say, in terms of, payments, yes, 100%. I mean, the type of payment that you offer for specific markets, some markets like to work more in cash. And, for example, at PaySafe, we have PaySafe Cash, which is more of that portion. You need to offer that kind of payment method, versus others are more card-based. So that's definitely changes market to market. I was just also to say there's also little subtle differences culturally between even within a region, or within a continent, even with more specifically, I know I bring up Canada, but might as well. I'm Canadian, but Canada and the US is very different. We're very similar, but we're very different in terms of, the sports that we even like, even though it's North America. Obviously in Canada, a lot of sports books need to focus on hockey. That's our huge sport. That's where all the money is. So you really do need to understand the cultural differences. And then within a region, for LATAM, there are differences within states. Within Brazil, there are differences. I say LATAM like it's this one homogenous region, but it's a very, very diverse region, right? So you need to approach things differently based on that. Otherwise, you won't see the outcome that you want to see.
Definitely. US and Canada is very different, especially nowadays, for sure.
Yes.
Talking about markets, I recall that you attended Sigma Africa, I think last month in Cape Town. I'm wondering your take on South Africa, in general, the market over there. For example, Sub-Saharan African market is growing right now. How big an opportunity is it for affiliates?
So I did go to Sigma Cape Town, beautiful, great conference last month. South Africa, specifically Sub-Saharan Africa is an exciting market. South Africa is a more established market in that region. It's been for a while that sportsbook specifically operators are working there, and there's still a lot of opportunity from the conference, and then even from the clients that we work with. South Africa is a very mobile focused, and Africa in general is a mobile focused country. The penetration of mobile phones, although they may not be the same smartphone penetration as the rest of the world, but catching up, there's a lot of opportunities for affiliates to promote there, you definitely need to look at the brands that you work with. There's a lot of new brands. I was actually surprised myself talking with people at the conference at how many brands there are in South Africa. Just, I believe, in the Western Cape region, there are about 75 South African brands that are operating there. So there's a lot of opportunity that can still be capitalized. And you need to look at working with, because the mobile penetration is there, it also means that both operators and affiliates need to have low density ads. Like they have to have fast loading, not a lot of graphics. You do have to change a little bit how you market there. There's a lot of word of mouth. Payment options are very important. They are moving towards having more digital wallets, but traditionally, obviously, there has been different payment methods there. So that's a really important part of marketing in Africa. And what I saw was networking was key too. Understanding, like we said, working with local subject matter experts and understanding there. So it was a really exciting, a smaller conference, but a really exciting one.
Amazing. I saw some photos from some of our partners. They even went for scuba diving. I'm so jealous. Next time I will be there for sure. And there were a few side events too, like, having a short safari and stuff like this. Did you have a chance to see around, maybe, during some of those trips?
Yeah, I did. We went to it's not a full safari because those are a bit farther from Cape Town, but we went to like a game reserve. That was cool. We saw penguins, we saw seals, and saw the beautiful landscape. It was gorgeous. It was super fun.
I'm very happy for you.
Lots of really nice, excited people. Honestly, I will say, it was a very encouraging market. I think with some markets, they're still growing and developing, obviously, in the US and in North American market. And there was a lot of excitement, and there's still excitement, but the excitement has kind of tapered a little bit with some, the changes. Right. And I find that for Africa, it was a lot of opportunity, excitement. So it made for a lot of interesting conversations and engagement.
Definitely. And as you said, it's one of those markets that mobile use is very important, and for sure we recommend affiliates and also the brands to have mobile optimization and also having responsive designs, especially for their websites or even the emails they send. They should not be really heavy and dense, as you were suggesting. We had time travel from back in the times that you started your career and you went through it. Now let's have a little bit like travel around the globe. So from Africa, let's go to Latin market. As you know, Brazil is a hot topic recently, especially after the recent legislation changes. I think it was starting from the beginning of this year. And apart from Brazilian market, the Latin region in general offers a lot for iGaming brands and affiliates. Could you share your thoughts on the current state of the Latin market, the way you see it, and its potential from an affiliate perspective?
So I can talk a little bit about Brazil. Like I mentioned before, Brazil, it has different regions. So even dialects-wise, even the type of games that people like to play vary from and within Brazil. With regulation, obviously there are less operator because it's more pushed out the unregulated operators, and there are specific operators that are there, but we still see a lot of opportunity there. In terms of working with specifically affiliates and driving traffic, what we see a lot have been influencers and people who are pushing and have a brand themselves locally. We've seen a lot of traffic from that, and also using social media or in social media apps like WhatsApp. That's huge in LATAM. A lot of ways that people are promoting are through creating WhatsApp groups that then they promote brands on. It's about creating communities. I think in Latin America, just like everywhere, but communities are really important. And the way that they're creating communities often online is through social media. And that's where we've seen a lot of success with brands is in really optimizing into those communities. And so that's really what we've seen overall in LATAM. Right now, actually, our team is at a LATAM conference in Brazil. So I know that we'll have more opportunities coming from there. But it's really important, like I said, to really look at how you, as an operator, you need to look at your brand, localizing like we mentioned before, but also looking at how you work with influencers and other social media traffic sources. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in Brazil, influencer marketing is a thing, and also not only the digital advertising, but also on-site advertising is very important. You can see the betting brands almost everywhere if you walk on the street. So yeah, that's for sure. Erica, we talk about markets. Yes, there are a lot of opportunities and they are evolving, but the technology around affiliate marketing space is constantly developing. And sometimes it's really hard for me to keep up with it. I'm wondering about your recommendations for iGaming operators when choosing the right affiliate program with all the features, such as like data analytics, reporting. Can you share your top tips with us, please?
Sure. So, I mean, obviously, from us having a platform and having worked with it for many years, a key thing is the detailed reporting. I think that having reliable tracking, number one, when you're looking at working with a partner who's going to be giving you information about campaigns, you need to work with someone who reliably delivers, can track, and then also can report. We are integrated with all of the major providers and many of the other ones in the market, and we're able to get data reliably from them, and we're able to, in our platform, display it at a granular level. So that's the other thing, is that you have to look at what level of reporting that the platform gives. Some platforms will give you reporting on a product, well, most will give it on a brand and product level. And it's really important that you go right down to the player level, and also that it goes right down to the specific, even supporting click IDs. I know for a lot of in mobile, especially even in apps, but also with web pages, people really, we're in an analytical age of marketing. You want to understand what parts of the page people are clicking on. Affiliates need to understand that, because they need to understand where their advertisements are being displayed, but also what is actually translating to a conversion. So it's important to work with tools that offer that. And then also offer real-time reporting, being able to give data back. So not just giving it on a daily basis, but also have the ability to post back data, which is something our platform does right away, especially because affiliates need to see that right away. And that's another key thing that I would say, is talk to affiliates about what platforms they want to use. I know companies obviously have budgets, and they have their own operators have their own targets of what they're trying to achieve. But one of the most important users of your affiliate marketing platform is not only your affiliate manager and acquisitions manager, but also the affiliate themselves. Because having a third-party login where an affiliate can see data regularly, can log in, can get API reports, and then they can get the data that they need. Affiliates will tell you who they want to work with and who they really see as valuable. And like I said, it's important to have that, because they are doing the day-to-day, and they're the ones that ultimately will drive you traffic. Affiliate marketing is through affiliate traffic, right? So you want to have the best tool that does that. And then lastly, but not least, you want to have a tool that can integrate well with other tools. So for example, we have an integration, we work with AppsFlyer. So AppsFlyer gives a lot of, it's more an MMP. It tracks more mobile on a per event basis, but also within apps, within more specific granular level. And we are able to complement that. And we also work with Volume. We work with Optimove from a CRM side of things. And we're also working with the RedoNet. And we're always looking at adding and complementary technologies, and Rightlander as well, which is a compliance tool. So it's important to make sure that you're working with platforms that are not just developing on their own, but they're developing an ecosystem. As a marketer, you have to have, right? You need affiliates acquisition, you need other acquisition tools, you need CRM. That's actually going back to other markets. That's one of the key things I should have mentioned that people struggle with, is they launch a brand, and then even affiliates drive traffic to it, but the brand has no CRM, no way of engaging their customers. And so they just lose it right out the funnel, right? they get a lot of attrition. So it's important to work with platforms that will help you and can also recommend other platforms to work together, so that acquisition doesn't just go at the other end of the funnel.
Absolutely. Sometimes we see that the retention part is very much overlooked. Brands, they heavily focus on acquisition, but they forget that part. And tracking, as you say, like especially reliable tracking, this is the way you put it, is very important. Otherwise, you're shooting in the dark. You don't know like where the quality traffic is coming, which partner is doing better, which let's say ad sources that you put is working the best for you, even devices and so on. There are so many things that you can actually get. And there's one thing that I noticed myself, because I also have my own marketing technology stack, and sometimes I've got a lot of data just coming from everywhere and too many things are displayed. So granular level for the reporting is important, because I need to first of all focus on the things that are working, and I need to check as my KPIs, because when I jump into all the reports and all the details data coming in, it's hard for me to digest a little bit. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, 100. No, it's true. There can be so much as too much data, and understanding like what are the most important data points that you need, and being able to pull that out and really focus. And I think that's where also you need to have other people's expertise in what they see as important day to day. So for example, like in iGaming, the most important metrics, one of them is FTDs, first time depositors. That's what's used usually to show who are actually, it's one thing to register, but who are actually engaging and depositing, and those are higher value customers. But there's a lot of points before that, from the conversion for the registration. So yeah, you need to be able to pick out those points and at least take those decisions, and then work with people who understand what are the best metrics and how to really make decisions based on that. Because you need to be able to say, okay, this acquisition channel or this partner, like you mentioned, this affiliate is more profitable for me. They're driving, or this other affiliate's driving a lot of registrations, no FTDs, not really beneficial for what I want. But maybe at the beginning you just want registrations. That's the other thing, is you have to decide at what point your brand or your product is. When a brand is first building up, yes, FTDs are important, but also volume is important. You need the volume of traffic, and then it's up to you to help engage that traffic and have a CRM or have a retention strategy or an activation strategy to engage those into converting customers. So it may depend also of where you are, whether you're developing up or whether you're a saturated, mature brand, which then needs to really cut out all the fat and and you really want to have those active depositing customers.
Absolutely, that's for sure. And when it comes to income access, it's not only limited to link tracking on your end. You explained at the beginning a little bit, but you have got a full suite of digital marketing services. And now the marketing ecosystem is broader, right? Like back in the time that we started our careers. Yeah. So like there are a lot of things to cover in the marketing ecosystem. I would like to hear from you about how affiliates should position themselves in today's realities. And also, you were talking about influencer marketing and social media, streamer marketing. So maybe you can also touch base on that a little bit and share your opinion with our viewers today.
Sure. So I think the important thing is diversification. So you can't rely, as a marketer and as a business, you can't rely on just one channel. There is a tendency to want to rely, for example, just on affiliate marketing. Well, for one thing that's for affiliates. For affiliate managers and operators, they want to rely on one channel that seems to be the most cost beneficial, which, for example, doing revenue share in an affiliate channel, it seems like, oh, wow, I can start doing marketing. I only pay out if I'm actually getting depositing customers. I'm not paying out, based on just exposure. It's actually on ROI, which is the benefit of affiliate marketing. But then you can't rely only on one channel. It has to exist within an ecosystem of other channels. So you have to have complementary for two reasons. One, that you need to have other ways to build up your brand, whether it's through media exposure, through doing other paid campaigns, social media. Those all have to complement your affiliate acquisition channel, because otherwise, if the affiliates, for example, say you rely even on small number of affiliates, if that drops for whatever reason because there's some sort of change in what affiliates can do to promote, you've basically put all your eggs in one basket. So that's really important for diversification on an operator side. And then for the affiliates, it's the same thing. You need to be able to have diversified channels. Obviously, when people first start in a new market, or if they start as a newer affiliate, they may be focused on one way of promoting, whether it be through social media, whether it be through organic, but you really should be looking at multiple ways, multiple traffic sources, because again, you put yourself at risk. And then you really need to invest in your brand at first. Make sure that you're giving your brand exposure, building a brand, trusted brand name or community. And it could be if affiliates and influencer marketing is not that different. I mean, influencers are really just affiliates. They're an affiliate, if you think of it in a broader term, it's someone who's just promoting something or being a representative of a brand. So that influencers are all about building up their persona. They use their persona and the trust that they build with their customers or their audience to then promote brands to that audience, which, like I said, I remember when influencer marketing came, or we call it influencer marketing, and my thought was that's just affiliate marketing. It's the same thing. Affiliates, publishers, influencers, it's all very much the same thing. But what influencers really figured out is that you have to have, they are the brand. An affiliate doesn't necessarily have to be the brand themselves as a person, but they have to decide what their brand stands for, whether it's a community, whether it's a website, and what does that actually mean, and then leverage that. So I think that influencers are still going to be really important. Affiliates are always going to be important. They will always be an important channel for marketing. I don't see it changing. Like I said, it's evolved in the type of affiliates you have. But I think that continuing into the future, it's going to be really important for people to still rely on affiliates in general. So it could be an in-person, offline affiliate, whether it's the person who's handing out cards at the corner saying, hey, go to an online casino, whether it's a retailer that's like selling lottery tickets and says to go to an online lottery, or whether it's someone online who has a review site or a blog, or, those are all going to be something that continues to be important.
Absolutely. The note on the diversification is so important, because I see that with the brands that we work with. Like at the very beginning, when we start the conversations, we tell them, look, it's important to have a blend of all these different channels for the traffic, but they heavily focus on affiliate traffic. Yes, I understand it is considerably, let's say, a good way to get started at the very beginning, because it has the performance-based model, so it makes sense. But over time, you may want to add, if you have the budget, of course, the paid ads. You can add programmatic advertising, and SEO organic side is very important because it's building up over time. So for sure, having the diversification makes sense. And definitely, especially in certain markets, we will see more and more influencer marketing coming up, as you were mentioning. Erica, if you like, we can finish up by looking ahead a little bit, because we talk about the current state in the markets, in the technology. Could you share some advice for both affiliates and affiliate marketers on future-proofing their businesses or affiliate programs for this year, 2026 and beyond, maybe?
Sure. Yeah, I think we talked about diversification. That's future-proofing as well. Definitely understanding the markets that you're working with. You're also going to need to balance markets. It's okay to focus heavily on a certain market if that's your strength. But like we've seen with regulations can change. different markets can close, and different markets can open. Like we're seeing in Africa, more markets are opening, in Latam, more markets are opening. And, sometimes the speed in which they open changes. So, with the US, there'll be more states that are opening in the next year, but it's not the same pace as it was at one time. So I think really making sure that you're balancing where you're working and that you have a backup plan. Even if I use income access as an example, you have to be able to pivot, right? Like, even back in our history, we were working before UEGA in North America, then pivoted to Europe and more globally, then also set the groundwork to pivot back to also include the US. And I think that's about, like I said, just making sure that you're keeping an eye on new markets and balancing your work in both. That being said, I'm not focusing on too many at the one time, but I can see that emerging markets are continuing to be exciting for 2025 and 2026. Some markets, like I remember even for Africa, we started working with African brands, I want to say about 5, 6, 7 years ago at least, and especially in places like South Africa. And I can see that there's continuing to be more opportunity now. It seems to be pushing up faster than it was before. So I'm excited for that market. And I'm excited like for affiliate marketing in general. It is become a very analytical, very numbers focused type of channel, which it should be. All marketing should be that focused. Still relationship based, but I've seen that, the data that's needed, the amount of data that's needed is going to continue to be important for people to understand, to optimize their campaigns. And I really think that, in the next year, media, for example, programmatic, you mentioned programmatic ads, that has been really important, looking at different acquisition channels. I did see a big push in programmatic, but then also people saying, ooh, is that the right traffic that we need? So it always seems to go in ebbs and flows. And I'm not saying that I can see the future, but I feel like things become cyclical. There'll be that big push for certain types of traffic and networks. And then people will become a little bit more careful about, working with the right partners. So that's definitely something that I can see over the future. Yeah, so and I know that we'll continue to grow and develop, and who knows, there may be another type of affiliate that we never foresee. I never thought Twitch gaming would be a thing. I never thought we would actually watch people in casinos. That to me was astounding when I learned, many years ago that people actually watch other people play casino games.
There was Telegram casinos, for example. It's not a thing anymore because of the recent changes, but wow, it was also something, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and I think definitely, obviously, the connectivity of social media apps and messaging apps and the way that those interact are going to dictate how things go. Even TikTok, right? Everything has become about the microbyte. Everything is about the snippet. Even podcasts, right? It's about the snippet that you create. Right. So as a brand, you need to be able to create these microbytes and be able to engage with people who are so.
Definitely. Yeah, you need to be just out there and visible to your audience for sure. It doesn't matter if it is B2B or B2C, it's a must for brands. And you were talking about obviously having the balance, especially in the traffic channels. Well, if even this year, I mean, we had the Google Core update back in March, and still, people are trying to, figure out what's happening. And regarding the programmatic, of course, you just need to test continuously, right? If it is an acquisition campaign or retention campaign, if you're doing retargeting, so which cases really match with your goals, and then you can just set up those events, and then you can track all those things and finally figure out what happens at the end of the day, for sure, with the traffic. And I would say we can also at the same time stick with those with the let's say methods that are working already, instead of jumping on the wagon for the next big trend, AI, or I don't know, whatever is coming up.
Yeah, I agree. I think it comes back down to most things are common sense, right? Like they're things that are fundamentally work. We as humans trust other humans. So everything I think it's not huge. You can focus on what makes sense. And what makes sense is sharing valuable content with people who they find engaging and from sources they find trustworthy. And all the trends and fads about how you do that, those will change over time, but sticking to what you know and understand best will always be the most successful, because if you believe in what you're actually sharing, right, it's going to be the most successful. And I agree with you. I do think AI is changing the way we work, but it's not necessarily changing everything about what we do. It's just helping to complement and make it easier for, it's making it easier for people to answer questions through an AI tool when they need to ask very standard questions rather than asking a person and using that person's time. The person can be more creative and more focused. So there's benefits to it, but I agree with you. Like, stick with core items that you understand, and over time, things will develop.
Absolutely. Erica, thank you so much for sharing your experience and insights with us. Today, we covered a lot from emerging markets like Africa and Latam to team building, affiliate strategies, technology. And also, for me, the most interesting part was your personal journey in the iGaming space. Do you have anything to share before we wrap up the show today, Erica?
I don't know. It's been I think I've shared quite a bit, but I really enjoyed it. It's a really easy conversation, and I'm very passionate about, I've been in the industry for 16 years, passionate about what I do and who I work with, and it's really super enjoyable. So I'm excited to see what happens in the future, and I'm sure I will see you in person, hopefully, one of the next shows. So Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you, Erica. Everyone, thank you for listening to us, and I hope you got some actionable takeaways and a bit of inspiration from Erica as well. If you enjoy iGaming content and want to hear from the best in our industry, make sure to follow Revpanda on our social media channels and subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify channels. And then, of course, you can go ahead and check out Income Access and what they have in their product line. Maybe that will be something important and interesting for you. And I will see you all at the next Revpanda live episode. Thank you.